Test, test, one, check, check. Just making sure that we're good. Good.
Sound check here in Clovis. Hobbs Eagles on the road, taking on the Clovis Wildcats. Eagles at 0-3, the same with the Wildcats who lost to Carlsbad 3-0 last week. Just about seconds away from the pregame show. The Hobbs Eagles taking batting practice right now and field work as well. We'll take a quick 30-second break, come back with a Hobbs Eagle pregame show on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Eagles batting only 287, or makes it 192 against the Roswell Coyotes. The Coyotes were 287. I think the more critical stats, if you look at that, besides the batting average, 14 out of the 23 Roswell hits were multi-base hits. That means they got guys extended bases on those and giving them a lot more chances to get into the home runs and the extra bases for the scores. That's definitely a different characteristic than what the Eagles had. 15 hits for the Eagles in the series. They had 5 multi-base hits in their 3 games that they played against Roswell. The other big key stat was the stolen bases, 15 for Roswell and 7 for the Eagles, so more than doubling up. The Coyotes getting extra bases taken care of and extras going around. Walks, Hobbs had the big advantage in walks, 27-13. The question is, though, trying to get those guys home is the problem, and the hitting just hasn't been there. 192 in 3 games is definitely something that needs to be improved upon. So Hobbs doing a good job of reading pitches, but unfortunately they're not coming home after that play.
You're right. 45 people left on base during those 3 games. That is not a good sign. I mean, usually you leave a couple. I mean, you expect it occasionally, but 45, that is opportunities missed, especially with the one-run games like we had, 2 of them against Roswell. So you want to make sure that you get those opportunities, you make the most of them. And, you can't always have Brewer going out there and hitting because he only hits once in a round. So you got to get another Brewer out there and maybe get somebody else out there who can bring in some runs as well.
Both teams had 29 strikeouts, so that was dead even there. 8 errors for the Eagles and 7 errors for Roswell. Now the question is, that sounds pretty even, but the problem is Hobbs had 7 of their 8 errors were in one game, and that was Game 3, the final game of the series. So that definitely is a killer. And we had a couple of dropped pop flies in the infield at first base. We had a shortstop lose one through the gap there that rolled into the outfield and got bases loaded up and coming around for scores. So critical of errors in that game especially. So definitely needs to be improved upon. The Eagles got to get some more continuity in terms of the defense. But let's face it, you mentioned Mekhi Brewer. He had some big bats going on in that 3-game series. Was 6 of 9 at the plate, 666 batting average. He had 14 RBIs and, of course, 3 home runs. I mean, just definitely continues to be the workhorse at the plate for the Eagles. But, again, as you mentioned, he only comes around to so many bats, so 1 out of 9 times he's going to be at the plate. But he does help out when it comes down to that. But unheard of, 14 RBIs in 3 games. That's over 5 a game. So big numbers there. After that, a major drop-off in batting average. Alan Udahara, the freshman shortstop, he batted .333, was 3 of 9 at the plate. He had a couple of RBIs. And then after that, you had Martinez, finished at .250. He was 2 of 8 and had a couple of RBIs. The problem is Eagles just not getting a lot of multi-base hits. We mentioned 5 out of 15, so not moving the runners around like they needed to get the win in this series. And Roswell just continued to take care of business, and they'd like to swing the bat a lot more than the Eagles do. I mean, if they're not going to contact, they just strike out 29 times, but a lot more opportunities to make contact too.
Yeah, and definitely Hobbs needs to get more contact, get more hits. Just like Boyle said earlier in the season, we need more hits. We need more base running, and of course, we need more production on those 2 things, and that will definitely get the runs generated. You get those going, and you definitely cannot lose. Of course, pitching, on the other hand, we got some good starters, but our relief sometimes has some problems. They're either good or bad. We're hoping for some good relief on this game, so that way Hobbs can come out of here, get some momentum going, and definitely get one win. You know, and we were talking about this on the way up. If Hobbs wins out the rest of the games, they will win. They will go to 500. That won't mean that they won't be having a winning season or a losing season. However, they will have a winning season as far as away games, simply because of the neutral game of 0-1. But other than that, you really want to look at one game at a time. You want to make sure that you can set up your offense and your defense to get this Clovis team. Yes, they lost 3 in a row. They lost big against Carlsbad, but that doesn't mean they're going to come out here and play you the same way. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to be tough. They're going to be definitely wanting that win just as much as Hobbs.
The scores of those 3 games, Carlsbad shutting out the Wildcats in the third and final game, 6-0. Caveman also won 14-2 over Clovis and 12-1, so 32-3 the total runs scored in favor of Carlsbad, and also out-hit the Wildcats 33-6. So 29 more runs and 27 more hits in that 3-game series, and that definitely was a major issue. But one of the games, the 14-2 contest, Carlsbad had to rely on 10 runs in the third inning. They were up 4-2 at the end of the second, and then also broke up with a double play against Clovis. It was trying to score to get back in that game. They were down 4-2, but then those 10 runs were killers. Carlsbad really took control. They didn't need any more runs after that to finish it up 14-2, and that was one of the games of the triple header against this Clovis team. So Clovis has some bright spots out there, but then they come back in that game, only had 1 hit, 9-1. The other games, 14-2 final, there was 11-3 hits in favor of Carlsbad, and in the other game, 12-1, 13-2 hits. So Clovis are having some issues in some of those contests.
You're right about that, because Clovis had 2 runs in the first inning and then didn't score the rest of the game. Second game, they had only 1 run in the 4th inning and didn't score anything after that, so it was 12-1. And in the third one, they were blank, so they never had any chance of getting a run in that one either, even though Carlsbad seemed to let up a little bit. Only beat them by 6, but still, you got to get your bats generated. We're talking about that on both sides now, Clovis and Hobbs. The ones that can do that is definitely going to have the driver's seat.
Now, Hobbs did get the impressive 8-1 win over Roswell in that second game of the series last week. The funny thing about it was, though, Hobbs winning 8-1, but they only batted .8 or .080 in that ball game. Roswell was only .095, so both teams struggled. Hobbs getting 2 hits and Roswell getting 2 hits. Roswell had a problem with defense with 3 errors in that game, which cost them, and Hobbs come through and took care of business to get the win. But, of course, Mackay Brewer again, 2 homers in that game, 7 RBIs. Definitely helped the cause. Hobbs up 4-0 early in that first inning, and then got 3 more runs in the 6th to put that W on the paper there for the Eagles. So even games where the bats might not be extremely powerful out there, you definitely got to get base runners, and we get guys on base. Again, a lot of the walks that we pick up, guys are watching their pitches and taking care of it. But again, even close games like that, a 2-2 hit count, it was a close one. Although Hobbs did win by 7, still some great pitching, though, you have to say as well, for the Hobbs Eagles stepping up in that game, as they had a couple of guys throwing for the Eagles. A couple, including Mackay Brewer. He finished up with the win in that game, and then also had Luke Parrish come in for 1 inning of relief work, really just to kind of spot check him there. So, again, that was an impressive win. I know Coach Boyle for the Hobbs Eagles definitely would like to have that third game back, though. 12-11, 23 runs scored in that one, and just some key mistakes towards the end of that ball game, and gave it back over to Roswell.
Definitely was, and it was just, like you said, just some key mistakes. Just keep compounding. You know, sometimes when it rains, it pours. And it was definitely pouring down against Hobbs that night. They did really well, though. They came back. They almost made it a close game, or they got back into the lead, but unfortunately they could not stop the mistakes, could not stop the scoring that Roswell did. They scored just enough to be able to get that win and victory. And now it's put Hobbs in a particular place that they do not want to be in right now.
Right now the records, Hobbs comes in at 7-13 overall, 1-2 in the district. And Clovis at 9-11 and 0-3. So really, they have a better record overall. But real critical now is the district record, which Hobbs has won up on them. I would like to add 3 more wins here to kind of move themselves up and try to get in that second slot as we go into the halfway mark of the district schedule. We should mention Clovis, pretty similar to the numbers in terms of who's on the roster. Hobbs has 3 seniors, Clovis has 4, so 1 plus there. Juniors are pretty close as well in this 2 squads. Hobbs with 8 juniors, Clovis has 10. So they got a couple of guys that are moving up next year with some experience coming into this after this season. After that, there's a little bit of difference in terms of youngsters on the squads. Hobbs has no sophomores. Clovis with 2. 4 freshmen for the Eagles, 0 for Clovis, and then 1 8th grader on both teams. So, again, a lot of juniors going to be moving up next year, and I think that's what both coaches are looking at, Coach Cruz and Coach Boyle, trying to see if they can get some guys, getting the continuity, the chemistry, getting the bats working a little bit better. And, again, this season isn't over yet.
Nope.
Still a chance to inch in. The Max Preps poll has not been updated from last week yet, so Hobbs still sitting at 22. Roswell it was Roswell at 22, Hobbs at 21. But with the 2 wins for Roswell, Hobbs has got to drop below them.
You would think so. Like I said, it's a question of whether they go by strength of win or strength of loss. And either way, you're probably right. I wouldn't expect anything less than Roswell going up at least 1 to 21. Hobbs dropping down to 22. But again, this is kind of all this is just irrelevant as far as
speculation.
Yeah, because in the end, it depends on what Hobbs does tonight. Because Clovis is at 17 last time that we checked, and that means that Clovis doesn't have to work nearly as hard as Hobbs does to stay ranked in the near the 16th.
The more important thing is, too, though, 16 teams make the playoffs. Right now, Hobbs is -5 from that top list, and definitely
right.
to get the wins here in district. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. Umpires talking to the head coaches, Coach Cruz and Coach Boyle. Hobbs and Clovis going at it here in Clovis. Game 1 of the triple-header. Be back with you in 90. Back live in Clovis, Hobbs Eagle Baseball, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Time friend Ron Gunner with you. Max back at the station as your Hobbs Eagles taking on the Wildcats. Second series of the district schedule. Of course, Eagles went 1-2 against the Coyotes from Roswell, and Clovis went 0-3 against the Carlsbad Cavemen, who right now ranked number 4 in the state of New Mexico. These other teams are kind of trying to climb themselves back into at least second place at this point, and 3 wins in this series would help the Eagles' cause at that. If you take a look at the starting lineup for the Eagles in terms of the defense, they'll have Alvarado at first, Hector Armadero. Jamison looks to third, turns and fires a curveball, and just clips the outside corner for the strike to even up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, that came out of just right in the radar, and unfortunately was not swung upon.
Left field 340, the center fence at 387 and 330 on the right side. The throw to first from Jamison, a little late, tap on the back anyway by Tapia, but getting back in time is Gonzalez. He slides in head first, and Mom's got to deal with the washing machine a little bit later tonight. Of course, this is part grass and part dirt infield. Curveball in the middle, going to hit through second base, off the glove of Clovis, and it was kind of a backhand.
He couldn't get it. He's looking for that double play possibly.
Official score is going to put that down as an error. It did hit the mitt. I just didn't know for sure if that was going to be where it needed to be for a hit to be calculated, but that will be an error. Fastball down the middle. This will be a blooper bouncing off to shortstop. Jimenez fires a second to get the first out, and that will get rid of one runner for the Eagles, Josiah Martinez, but does advance Gonzalez in quick enough there. But, of course, Alvarado is the first baseman for the Eagles and came into the game batting .271, 13 hits, 10 RBIs, a triple, and a homer.
Here's the man that the Wildcats do not want to see up right now with 2 on and 1 out, because he's been knocking it out of the park recently.
Yep, that's Mekhi Brewer. Another lefty back-to-back for the Eagles, batting .417 with 25 hits, 37 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs to lead the team. Fastball outside and low for ball 1. Again, that big number 37 RBIs. He picked up 14 of those against Roswell in those 3 games, a little bit over about four, close to 5 RBIs a contest, and 3 home runs in that series is pretty dominant. Tags a second, throws to first for the double play, and that's all she wrote for the Hobbs Eagles, unfortunately, as Mekhi Brewer hits into a grounder out towards second, and the double play mastered by the Wildcats. So the Hobbs Eagles managed to get 1 hit. Nobody left on the base after a double play, no run score. We go to the bottom of the first. It's still Hobbs 0, your Clovis Wildcats 0. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Clovis. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you. Hobbs Eagle Baseball and HobbsAmerica.com YouTube and Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Eagles on the defensive side now. Top of the first, they did manage a single from Gonzalez, had an error from Martinez, fielder's choice from Alvarado, and a ground out to second into a double play for Mekhi Brewer. So Eagles did leave, or were about to leave 2 runners on, but they got swiped on the double play. Last year, the Eagles winning all 3 games, outscoring Clovis 44-7, 12-2, 16-4, and 16-1. Out-hit the Wildcats 31-9. Game 1, 10-1. Game 2, 10-5, and Game 3, 11-3. So I guess you would say ultimate domination in that 3-game series last year.
Absolutely was. They didn't know what hit them. Hopefully this happens this time around too. But I think Clovis is going to be scrappy. I think they're going to be tough out.
By the ERA. Mentioned both teams are close in seniors. Clovis with 4, Hobbs with 3, and the junior count is pretty close as well. Just a 2 differential there, as Hobbs with a total of 10 juniors and 8 for Clovis. First up for the Wildcats is the center fielder Eli Rodriguez. The left fielder Eli Rodriguez. J.B. Jimenez, Kobe Rivera, and Josias Jimenez, 2, 3, and 4 in the order.
Accurate, just not on time.
So they've got a new shortstop for the Eagles.
Strike two.
Yeah, 0-2 count now to Jimenez. Culliver due up next. Bird knows he's got a runner at second, looks back at him, fires a fastball high, swing and a miss, and that will sit down Jimenez, the first K of the ball game for Major Bird. As he gets a little fist bump to Quinn Culliver the next at-bat. That's the second baseman, Quinn Culliver. So 2 down now. Already a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats, coming off an RBI single from Rivera. As Bird kind of spins the ball in his right hand and checking the armband here.
That is his 53rd strikeout for Bird.
Okay, one of the top 2 pitchers for the Eagles. Fastball down the pike for the strike. You can definitely hear the glove slapping hard with the ball coming through on that one to Singleton. Bird reloads. Off left of the rubber now as he steps back up top. Again, we mentioned grass and dirt infield here. Of course, dirt around the bases. Here's the 0-1. Curveball off the end of the bat and flicks back. It's dropped by Singleton off the side of the head that time, and that gets the runner to advance. And that'll be Rivera now with a steal heading to third base. So he's in scoring position. But you got to have definitely a hit out here to get the run with 2 down. Got to keep it out of the infield for Clovis to have a chance to get another run to score.
Definitely.
Back in the box goes Culliver. He waits the pitch from Bird. Bird with the windup. Here comes the throw. Fastball off the end of the bat. Check it out to left field. A shallow shot. Catch on the run for the Eagles as Martinez one-hands it for out number 3 on the fly out to left. So the Wildcats able to get a couple of hits. Leave one on base. 1 run scores, and we go to the top of the second. Clovis 1, your Hobbs Eagles nothing. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Unfortunately missing a big one too. Major Bird hitting a home run on the left field fence, over the left field fence, for the score to tie it up at 1-1. The Eagles' second hit of the ball game. And now a ground out for Kenyon Singleton to short. Brings up Hector Armendariz, the second baseman. Curveball inside, swing and a miss for Armendariz. Again, tied up at 1-1 here. Both teams with 2 hits apiece. Hobbs and Clovis on the road, the Eagles today. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Jamison. Curveball down the middle. A bouncer to first, fielded by Lopez. Fires across the field and connects to Tapia on the 5-3 for out number 2. The ground out to third base. But Major Bird stepped up, hit the home run to get this top of the second going. As Bird, now that was his first home run of the season. The Eagles have 12 total now. Of course, the leader is Mackay Brewer with 8 of those 12. 2 for Singleton and 1 apiece for Alvarado, and now Bird to finish up with us 12. Jamison with a sinker comes across, low to Armendariz. Saul Armendariz, the right fielder now, 8th in the order for the Eagles. 2 down, though, for Hobbs with no base runners. We're tied at 1. Fastball cracked out to the Hobbs Eagle dugout and almost takes out a couple of players over there. Trying to get the heck out of the way was Kenyon Johnson. He's leaning on the backstop fence on the left side there. Had to move his head out of the way that time. The 1-1 pitch from Jamison. Fastball down the middle goes low for ball 2. 2-1 count. Winds about 10-15 here today in Clovis.
Yep, going from right to left across the field.
Jamison takes a little bit more time. The windup and the throw. Fastball, middle of the bat, and fouled out to the right side over the Clovis. Back live here in Clovis. We're having some internet issues tonight. A little wind coming through here at the park. A single connected by Joe Albert, the center fielder for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the second. No outs. He was the first at bat in this inning and is 6th overall in the order. Now 7, Bernie Lopez, the third baseman, getting his first chance at the bat. We are tied 1-1. Clovis with 3 hits, 2 for the Eagles, 1 error for the Wildcats, none for the Eagles, as Major Bird continues on the mound for the Black and Gold. Curveball high for the ball. Count to 1-0. Tapia and Mendoza, 8th and 9th in the order for the Wildcats. And they kind of have a unique situation. They have a DH in the 9th slot. That is Josiah Mendoza. He's DHing for the pitcher, Jamison. Usually you see those DHs a little bit higher on the batting order. Bird came off the rubber for a second and flinched like he might be thrown over to first to Alvarado, but causes Albert to dive mouth first into the first bag there, and no throw from Bird. Here comes a 1-0 pitch showing bunt. Hit behind the home plate and ricochets out the middle backstop. Good job for Singleton to try to get back there and make the catch. The catcher for the Eagles, of course, but
yes.
Hit down a little bit too quickly. Not a chance to scoop that up for the out.
Exactly. Bird's going to have to readjust his pitches because
Bird back on the mound. Fastball. This will be hit hard over the top of our heads here. Again, middle of the backstop. No bunt show that time for Lopez. Count goes to 1-2. Bat next on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Top of the third inning, almost halfway done here in Clovis. A quick moving game. Tied at 1-1. Jamison remains on the mound for the Wildcats. First pitch taken for the Eagles. Low for a ball off the fastball. Eagles bottom of the order now. Jaden Taylor getting his first at-bat as a varsity player. Curveball off the end of the bat. Gets a high shot high towards right field. It will be shallow, though. The second baseman moves over and makes the catch. That's Culliver for out number 1 on the flyout.
Yeah, another one of the problems that Hobbs has is just a bunch of flyouts, especially that one that was shallow, like you said, easy to catch, and no problems at all getting under that one and making sure he caught it.
So Jaden Taylor seeing his first action at shortstop, his first at-bat as a varsity player for the Eagles. A flyout, now top of the order for the second time. Gerardo Gonzalez, who had the first single of the game, as a leadoff hitter. Curveball clips outside for strike 1. Jaden Jamison, the pitcher, does not bat for the offense here. 0-1 pitch. Curveball, low one, and reaching across was Gonzalez, and he shook his head after that. He went after some junk on that pitch.
You notice both pitchers taking very little time making up their mind and trying to make the batter do all the work.
Jamison up 0-2 on the count. Curveball off the end of the bat again. This is going to go foul to the top of the backstop and out of play.
Yep,
Takes
it out.
Yep, just outside of Bell Park on the road outside of us here on the right. But still staying alive is Gonzalez, keeping contact with the 0-2 count. Curveball outside again and low. The ball's dropped behind home plate, though, by Josiah Jimenez. And on the strike 3 drop ball gives a chance for Gonzalez to get to first, the ugly way.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've seen it recently anyway for the Hobbs Eagles to work out. Maybe one other time, but still, not overall, unable to get most of those to land on first.
So Gonzalez been on base twice now. A drop third strike there and a single to start the ball game. Josiah Martinez now steps in, got on due to an error back in the first. Jamison takes a peek at first on the mound for the Wildcats. Lead off now for Gonzalez. Fastball down the middle and getting a piece of it again towards the right dugout to Clovis. Bounces off the little fence in front and rolls back out to first base as Tapia has to recover for the Wildcats. Again, Martinez, a lefty for the Eagles, a left fielder. Waggling that bat behind his left ear now as he faces Jamison. Quick throw to first, a dive into first base for Martinez, and picks up a mouthful of dirt on that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to get used to that dirt too, especially, although this is only one game, so we don't have to worry about it so much in a second game.
0-1 counts. Jamison fires it back to first again, a little bit higher this time, and Tapia has to be on his toes to pull that one down. Don't want to have a wild throw to that first base and get that runner advanced.
Exactly. They also, though, don't want any stolen bases any more than they have to.
Curveball comes down the middle, a little low for the ball. Count to 1-1. Big silver chain hanging from Gerardo Gonzalez's neck right now.
Apparently not distracting enough to be tucked inside the shirt.
Showing the fashion statement out there. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside for ball 2. Good eye there for Martinez. We mentioned Hobbs really getting the best deal with the walks against Roswell. I mean, tons of those in that game, those 3 games. What was it, 27, I believe they had a total in that contest, those contests. 27 compared to 13 for Roswell, although Roswell had 23 hits, the Eagles 15. Fastball outside, a flinch, a throw down to first from behind the home plate, not in time from Jimenez. And the count to 2-2 on the strike call there. Now Josiah Martinez will have to protect the plate. 1 down for the Eagles. We're tied 1-1 here in the top of the third, slated for 7. Here at Bell Park in Clovis. Fastball outside and way outside that time. Caught by the webbing of the glove by Jimenez behind the plate. And now we've got a full count on the ball pitch.
Pitcher had 1 count, 1 throw to disregard, and wanted to make sure that that runner would not advance to second.
Boy, he's not shy to throw to first as he throws another one. That's about the 4th one here. But getting back in time again is Gonzalez. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Eagles trying to break a 1-1 game here on the top of the third. Jamison says yes, the call. Throws it outside. The steal is on. It should be a ball. Throw in time. The tag. Jumping in the air. And coming down with a swat is Culliver. He's able to get the glove on top of Martinez, who overextends and gets the 3rd and final out. So that means Josiah Martinez will return in the 4th inning back at the plate. But unfortunately ran himself into a tag there for out number 3. The Hobbs Eagles, no hits, nobody on the bases left, no runs come across. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. The home team, the Clovis Wildcats, come up next at the plate. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Baseball on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and Cool 95.7's Facebook page. Bottom of the 3rd here in Clovis. Bell Park, Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you. Hobbs Eagle Baseball tied 1-1 with the Wildcats. So far, 3 hits converted by Clovis. Rodriguez, Rivera, and Albert all getting a single. And for your Hobbs Eagles,
throw to second base. Plenty of time to get the tag out from second.
So that will be no hits, no runs scored. We go to the top of the 4th. We are knotted at 1 apiece. Take a 30-second break, and the Hobbs Eagles at the plate. are we off again? Shoot. Reset. Got any? Colorado's currently at second base. No outs for the Eagles. That brings up Makai Brewer, the cleanup man. He ground out to second for the last out of the first. Curveball inside. He's going to jack it out towards left center, towards the wall. This is going to get down and takes a bounce at the warning track if they had one here. And I guess they do have one. That's going to be at least a double. Boy, Brewer putting on the speed. He gets a second before I can even look out there. And that will be an RBI double for Makai Brewer. Back-to-back doubles for the Hobbs Eagles, Alvarado and Brewer. The bats are starting to come alive here, Ron. That will be the 5th hit for the Eagles.
And there's never a bad time for the bats to get alive. Both sides are swinging, and both sides are making contact. The thing is right now so far, Hobbs is making the most of their hits.
Actually, that was the 4th hit. 2 doubles, a home run, and a single. Homer by Bird, doubles for Alvarado and Brewer, and a single by Gerardo Gonzalez. No out still for the Eagles. They got the runner at second for Brewer. Fastball goes outside and sliding to keep it from going wild as Jimenez, the catcher. As Brewer definitely has some speed on those bases. I can't believe how quickly he got out to second after that double.
Exactly. A little bit further, and he could have actually gotten a triple. He's done that before this season.
Eagles have been picked off on the bases a couple of times so far, so they definitely don't want that to happen here. Another outside low pitch on the fastball. Got to go to ball 2 now against Major Bird. Bird hit the home run back in the second inning, an RBI with that for himself, and a run scored. His first homer of the season. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Jamison. Fastball, a little curve actually at the end as it clips the outside corner for the strike. 2-1 count now to Major Bird.
And you know that Bird wants to get on plate or definitely wants to score Brewer to help his cause on the pitching mound.
Yeah, Bird didn't have the best of series against Roswell. I think he was 1 of 7 in that series. Curveball clips the outside corner for another strike. So he has already matched his hit count in the 3 games against Roswell with just the home run here earlier. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Major Bird. Second is Makai Brewer. Curve outside, lunges out across off the edge of the bat, gets some air behind it, out towards shallow behind second. The shortstop comes over to make the catch. Jimenez, he calls off Clovis, the second baseman, who shifts out his way at the last second, kind of just dodges his head from him, and catch is made. So that will be a fly out for Bird to shallow center.
And did not advance Brewer, who was just there next to the catch at second base.
Yeah, he had to be very alert out there to make sure he didn't get off too much and get thrown out there.
Yeah, like he did the other day.
And we had a double play against us just a few minutes ago back in the last inning. Kenyon Singleton ground out back in the second inning. As Jamison take a little bit more time, Singleton batting 157. Curve inside, and did he hit his foot or not? He's shaking his foot off, but they're going to say he stepped into it, so they're not going to call that hit by batter. Hit by pitch, I mean.
It was because it was a foul ball.
So Singleton back in the box after shaking off his foot. Kenyon has a couple of home runs this season, 6 RBIs, 4 doubles, and 8 hits total with 10 runs. Jamison peeks back at second. Curveball outside and low for ball 1, even up the count at 1-1. Again, 4 hits for the Eagles, 3 for Clovis, and a 2-1 ball game as the go-ahead run was scored by Xavier Alvarado. Already 2 doubles in this top of the 4th. Jamison, low pitch, is going to go outside, and Brewer's going to take a spread. He kind of put on the brakes for a second, halfway down the path between second and third, hesitated. That almost cost him.
Well, he was behind the ump, couldn't see where the ball was, and once he saw it was out of the catcher's hand, he went ahead and took off for third base.
So a steal picked up by Makai Brewer. And the runner now at third is Brewer. Hobbs knocking at the door. In the box, Kenyon Singleton with the 2-1 pitch. Curveball, and it'll go out towards Brewer, who was in foul territory. He put out his hand to try to bring it down to help out the cause there.
Right, speed up the effort anyway.
First made sure it was way out past the third baseline.
And also stayed close enough to third base not to have to worry about it.
Brewer takes a fastball down the middle, swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike number 3 for Singleton. He's going to sit down. Only the first K on the Eagles here, and we're in the top of the 4th inning, so definitely some good news there at this point. Should mention, too, that Brewer has an on-base percentage of 52%. He's second on the team behind Gonzalez at 60%. Fastball down the middle for the strike against Hector Armendariz, who ground out to third back in the second inning. Jamison, no balls and a strike now. With the runner at third is Brewer. 2 down for the Eagles. Curveball clips the outside corner for the strike. And now Armendaris going to have to do some protection here with an 0-2 count.
Indeed he is. 2 outs and 1 on. He definitely wants to advance that runner without the out.
Here comes Jamison. Curveball, swing and a miss, and strike 3 for Hector Armendaris. So 2 Ks in a row, and that will be out number 3. Although the Eagles do pick up 2 hits, leave 1 on base, and 1 run scores. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Hobbs up 2-1 over Clovis. Back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Albert watched that one come through. Takes a quick look over to Coach Cruz, who has his eyesight out in the center field for the Eagles. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Bird. Fast. And that'll be their 4th hit of the game for the Wildcats.
Yep, 2 on, but 2 out for the Hobbs Eagles. That is their only saving grace. They just need 1 more out to get out of this inning. And, you know, so far we haven't hit the first hour yet for this game, so it's going really quickly so far.
Bottom of the 4th. 1 base open. That's third, which would be the force out for the Eagles. No work in the bullpen yet for Hobbs. Just a 2-1 ball game. Bird will come with the fastball high for ball 1. To Bernie Lopez. He grounded third back in the 2nd. Hits from Rodriguez, Jimenez, at 2 for Albert, a pair of singles, and a single piece for Rodriguez and Rivera. No multi-base hits yet for the Wildcats. Big step, and then coming off the rubber now is Major Bird as the runners get back to their bases in time, scurrying around there. That time, wasn't sure what Bird was going to do with it. Fastball inside, brushing back Lopez for the ball. And a quick throw to second, not in time, as getting there is Albert. Culliver. 2 balls and no strikes to Bernie Lopez. He's 7th in the order. Tapia and Mendoza to round it out for the Wildcats. That would finish up a 2nd rotation of batters. 2-0 pitch from Bird. Fastball outside for ball 3. Looked like Bird was kind of confused about the call there as he kind of threw his hands up after that one went low. Not quite sure that's the play they wanted between him and his catcher Singleton. Fastball down the pike, and there's the strike as Lopez knew he had a few pitches to burn here with that 3-0 count, which now drops to 3-1. Hobbs Eagle Baseball Live on Cool 95.7 Facebook page, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Exclusive Hobbs Eagle coverage throughout the season and the playoffs. Here's a 3-1 pitch, fastball high for ball 4. So 2 walks issued here in the 4th inning. Total for the game as well, and a time called. Coach Bowman, the pitching coach, will head out there and talk to Bird, and a couple of the basemen and shortstop come in for the meeting of the minds. We'll take a quick 30-second break. 2-1 Eagles are in the bottom of the 4th, 2 down for the Wildcats. Come back with this live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. It's 2-1. Hobbs still by 1. Top of the 5th inning here in Clovis. Hobbs Eagles at the plate. And that's Saul Armendaris, the right fielder, 8th in the order. Ground to short for the last out of the 2nd. Takes the fastball low and inside for ball 1. Just to give you a recap of what's happened so far, the Eagles with 4 hits. A home run for Major Bird, a couple of doubles, Alvarado and Brewer, and a single by Gerardo Gonzalez. And Clovis has 4 hits as well, all coming on singles. Jamison, the pitcher from the start, curveball, goes low and inside for ball 2. 2-0 count now to Saul Armendaris. Jaden Taylor is coming in next to round out the order. Curveball inside, swing and a miss, and that'll be a strike there for Armendariz.
And that wasn't the greatest swing. It was really early compared to the throw.
Eagles 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. Takes a fastball, clips the bottom of the strike zone for the strike as Armendariz waited on that one. Hobbs usually big on walks, but haven't even taken one in this game. Here's a 2-2 pitch, curveball, and hits him right in the back. Or did he swing out of that or turn out of that just in time? I think he did. So that's going to go down as a ball and a full count.
He almost called it right there, too, getting their first walk if he had, even though it would have been a hit-by pitch.
We got kind of tucked behind the umpire. Couldn't see if that actually made contact or not. Curveball comes down and swing, no swing. He holds it, and that will be the third strike for Armendariz. 3 Ks in a row for the Eagles batters, and that'll be out number 1. Bottom of the order now, Jaden Taylor. He flew out to second, just behind second base in shallow right field, barely to the right. He's 9th in the order, and a wild pitch on the fastball hits the base and bounces off up the third baseline. Chasing it down is Lopez for the Wildcats, the third baseman.
No harm, no foul, nobody on base to advance.
1-0 count now to Taylor. Second at bat of the season. Fastball, late swing on that one for the strike. It is dropped, but scooped up by Jimenez behind the plate.
Yep, thought he saw something there, but didn't quite connect with the ball.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, late swing on the golf style there. And it takes the dribble out to the foul territory on the left side towards the Hobbs Eagle dugout as it's fielded by the Eagles. Looked like Gerardo Gonzalez there in the circle was able to pull that one down. Here's the 1-2 curveball well outside. The Raider had that off the mark that time as Taylor just waits on it. 2-2 count off the ball. Jamison, the starting pitcher for the Wildcats. Here's the windup and the throw. Curveball outside, into the bat, but right to the first baseman, and right to his eye level. Barely put up his glove. Tapia stepped over, made the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, didn't even have any problem with staring into the sun as he has his sunglasses on.
So Taylor's had contact on his first 2 at-bats. The fly to second and the fly to first, trying to keep it out of the infield. Here we're going quickly with Jamison, top of the order for the Eagles, is Gerardo Gonzalez, a curveball high for ball 1. Gonzalez had a single and got on due to an error. Quick pitch again for Jamison, fastball, low for ball 2. And he's starting to speed up his pitches now.
Exactly. Both sides are pretty much throwing as fast as possible. You know, we're still not even into the first hour yet.
You are the top of the 5th. Eagles up 2-1. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball down the pike for the strike. Gonzalez waited on that one. Josiah Martinez, Alvarado, and Brewer, 2, 3, and 4 in the order, going through the rotation the third time now. Curveball down the middle and right to the Hobbs Eagle dugout on the foul ball. Says Josiah Martinez getting a lot of work there as he's warming up to come up to bat here pretty quickly, but has a lot of balls coming at him too behind home plate. Coach Boyle threw it back to Gonzalez there in the circle to help out the umps here in a minute. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Jamison. Curve outside. You could see the catcher sliding over before the ball even came down. Jimenez, you knew that ball was coming outside. Now the full count to Gerardo Gonzalez. Gonzalez has picked up 13 walks this season. Takes a curveball inside, a knuckler off the bat. It's going to go towards left field, kind of shallow, and hits the grass. And it'll take a few bounces. That will be a single. Little confusion out there who was going to pick up the play, and they had the left fielder coming in who missed it. That was Rodriguez. Also, you saw Albert moving from center all the way to left to help, and then I believe that's Jimenez. The shortstop was out there too, and it bounces right in front of Rodriguez, who was full speed sprinting from left field. But that is a single nonetheless for Gonzalez. So Eagles pick up another hit. That's their 5th of the ball game. 2 singles now for Gerardo Gonzalez. Josiah Martinez now, the lefty, steps in.
Could possibly blame it on the swirling wind. Either way, yeah, sometimes just mistakes are made. Luckily, that goes the favor of Hobbs.
1-0 count out of Martinez. Got on due to an error and a ground out. Fastball outside for ball 2. Good eye for Martinez. Runner at first is Gonzalez. Eagles with 2 outs, though. They lead 2-1 here in a very quick-moving 5th inning and game for that matter. Fastball at the end of the bat. And this is going to go over the top of the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Actually, he's going to almost hit the roof, it looks like, into the batting cage and bullpen area for the Eagles' left side foul territory.
Actually looked like it was almost playable, but Clovis could not catch the ball. It did stay inside the park, but it was foul.
2 balls and a strike to Martinez. After him, a couple of guys that have hit doubles so far, Xavier Alvarado and Makai Brewer. Brewer's was an RBI double. Jamison put a little bit more of a stop on this one. 2-1, curveball, and this is going to go over the dugout for sure this time. It hits a big mound of dirt behind the Hobbs Eagle dugout.
Looked like a possible ball right there. It was a little high, but swung on anyway for the strike.
Evens up the count at 2-2 with 2 down for the Eagles. The runner at first is Gonzalez. Hobbs up by 1 run. Curveball high and outside for ball 3. Back to another full count back-to-back for Hobbs batters. Eagles trying to extend their lead. Do lead in hits so far, 5-4. Both teams with an error as well.
So you're playing pretty evenly so far this game.
Jamison faces third, turns and fires a curveball. Late swing for Martinez off the edge of the bat. Hits the left backstop and rolls back into the infield. Scooped up by the third baseman, Lopez. Gives it back to his pitcher. Again, doubleheader tomorrow. Game 2 and 3 of the series. At home at Sportsman's Park. Eagles will host Clovis. 4:15 pregame, 4:30 start time. Full count pitch. Curveball inside. Waiting for the ump on this one. They're going to call the walk. Little low for Martinez. And that was a close one there, Ron.
It was. I was just wondering myself if he was going to be ostentatious and then throw the strike call or the strikeout call, or if it was just going to be a ball. Turns out no call for the ball.
Walk for Martinez, only the first walk picked up by the Eagles, who tend to like to get those walks as much as they can. They have 124, make it 125 with that one there on the season. Runners at first and second, Eagles 2-1. Jamison curveball inside off the handle, barely going foul outside the first baseline as Coach Bowman's able to scoop it up for Hobbs. There, that's Rivera, and it'll be an RBI double, the second of the game for Makai Brewer. And that will score another runner, Xavier Alvarado. 3 runners have come home here in this top of the 5th. Eagles now leading 5-1 here at Bell Park in Clovis.
I think he was held up. It looked like Brewer could have gotten to third, which would have been closer to the cycle, but instead just stayed at second. It's always better to play safe than sorry, because you don't want to get tagged out at third trying to make a double into a triple.
In case you were off the air with us for a few minutes there, I apologize for that. Eagles have had 3 hits in this 5th inning, a single by Gonzalez, 2 RBI double from Xavier Alvarado, and an RBI double for Makai Brewer. So 2 doubles in a row. Josiah Martinez also got on and scored after a walk. And now we got a timeout. Coach Cruz out on the mound to talk to his starter, Jamison, the pitcher. And a 5-1 ball game right now. The hit count 7-4 in favor of the Eagles, and this is a good consistency we're seeing with the bats at this point in the 5th.
Absolutely it is. Plus the fact that Hobbs has scored in 3 innings while holding Clovis to 1. It looked like the Clovis would come out swinging strong. They did, but weren't able to make anything of it once they got their bats going.
Tell you another thing, too. I don't know if that's somewhat of motivation as well, that you don't have to worry about 2 games and kind of conserving energy. You're going to put on the line here, especially on a road game. Get a win, and you got 2 at home tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's anything that Hobbs can do as far as getting a win, that would be great, especially if they can hold off this lead.
Looks like Coach Cruz will stick with Jamison on the mound. Eagles up 5-1 after 3 runs scored here in the top of the 5th. Jamison comes with a curveball, and off the middle of the bat, out towards shallow center, right center. Will take a bounce over the shoulder of the infielder there, Clovis, coming from second, trying to get over the shoulder catch there, and that'll go down as a single for Bird. So Major Bird gets on his second time. He had a home run and a single now. So things are looking up and up for the Eagles. That did score a run as well to make it 6-1.
Exactly, and it looked bad for Clovis. There was 4
It just barely bounces in front of the warning track. At least a double. Going to see they're probably going to hold the runner at third. They will.
Yep.
But a double for Kenyon Singleton. I think that might be just about it for Jamison. Although I don't see anybody in the warming up there for the Hobbs Eagles or for the Clovis Wildcats in the bullpen.
I thought I did, but they're off to the right of us, so we can't see on the other side of that bullpen to see if there's actually somebody warming up or not.
5 hits for the Eagles just in this 5th inning alone. Didn't score a run after that double by Singleton. But now 6-1 ball game. Hector Armendariz, who's now 7th in the order, 0 for 2 at the ground to third and a strikeout. Curveball in the middle. It's going high in the air towards left once again. More work for Rodriguez, and he makes a two-handed catch as he pulls it down. So Clovis probably getting out of the top of the fifth on a fly to left. But the Hobbs Eagles getting 5 hits. They score 4 runs and end up leaving 1 on base. But your score, 6-1, Eagles leading Clovis. We're back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. As your Eagles lead 6-1 here in the bottom of the fifth, slated for 7 here at Bell Park. Wildcats at the plate, bottom of the order for them. Josiah Mendoza, the DH, who struck out in the 3rd inning. Major Bird still on the mound for the Eagles. Fastball down the middle. It's going to be a bouncer to second. Hector Armendariz fires it over to first and makes a connection to Alvarado on the 4-3 for out number 1 for the Wildcats. So far, the pitching of Major Bird has given up a total of 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks so far, and 1 run, which was back in the 1st inning. And the hits converted for Clovis, 2 singles for Albert, an RBI single for Rivera, and a single for Rodriguez. He was the one that scored. Little changeup inside. It's going to go high towards left field. Going back for it is Martinez. Steps up and makes the catch with one hand, the glove, and is able to pull down the first out. Second out, excuse me.
It's all right.
That was Eli Rodriguez with the fly out to left. Now, second in the order. This is the 3rd time in the order for Clovis. J.V. Jimenez, he's 0 for 2. Ground out to Bird, the pitcher, and short as well. Max Preps poll from last week. They haven't updated that one yet. Fastball down the middle, going out towards right field, high in the air, about midway back to right, and a one-handed snag by Saul Armendariz for out number 3. So 2 flies to the outfield, 1 ground out. Off the end of the battle, the fastball, Gonzalez right back to short again. Jimenez has another throw out to first for out number 3. So Hobbs Eagles not getting the bats working in that inning.
Nope, 3 up, 3 down.
Yep, they got a fly, a grounder, and a grounder. And that's going to wrap it up. We'll stay right here, though, here in the bottom of the 6th coming up. Right now the hit count for your Hobbs Eagles, 9 versus 4 for Clovis. Eagles have had 3 strikeouts. Clovis was 6. 1 walk for the Eagles and 2 for Clovis. Hobbs getting most of their runs in the 5th inning. They had 4 in the top of the 5th. And, of course, big night so far as usual. Makai Brewer 2 for 3 with a couple of first a RBI double and a steal and then another RBI double. So he's got both doubles so far. Xavier Alvarado with the same situation, a double and a 2 RBI double plus 2 runs scored. He is 2 for 3 so far. Gerardo Gonzalez is 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. And Major Bird with a RBI homer. He scored himself in the 2nd and also had an RBI single. He's 2 for 3. Kenyon Singleton's added a double as well. So already we've had a total of 5 batters. And 3 of those are multi-hit batters at this point with 2 apiece.
Yeah, Bird is in contention for most valuable player along with Brewer, of course. Brewer has actually had 4 in a row from the Max Preps. And Bird has only pitched 58 times in this game so far. So at the bottom of the 6th, he's still strong, and looks like he can go the distance.
And he's on the mound, as you said, a pitcher for the Eagles to start in this one. Giving up 4 hits, 6 Ks, and 2 walks at this point. And Clovis now here in the bottom of the 6th, need to make up some ground. They trail by 5. We've got a big wind starting to blow in here at Bell Park. Fastball down the middle, and boy, it blasts hard as the ball comes off the bat of Josiah Jimenez. He is Kobe Rivera, third in the order. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single, a stolen base, and a strikeout. One of the lefties for the Wildcats. Quick reload for Bird on the 0-1 pitch. Fastball down the middle. Hard shot out towards center. Will take a bounce. Mackay Brewer's able to bring it down after the bounce and get it in at the long shot all the way to pitcher. Wind picked up that relay all the way to the, actually right on top of the pitching mound there is Major Bird able to scoop it up. So that'll be a single for Kobe Rivera, his second single of the ball game. That'll be the 5th hit for the Wildcats. They trail 6-1 to the Eagles here in the bottom of the 6th. We are slated for 7. The cleanup man, Josiah Jimenez, struck out and ground to short. He's 0 for 2 at the plate. Bird will come with the fastball low in the ground, but Singleton able to knock it up forward a little bit on the ground to make sure he had an opportunity to pick and throw if he needed to, but the runner gets back to first. That's Rivera.
Exactly, although it would have been a tricky one with the wind. It's getting a little dirt going on, so it may be a problem in this inning.
Yeah, we do have dirt and grass in the infield. Of course, dirt around the bases and grass infield up towards the plate. Quick throw for Bird to first, not in time. Is Rivera able to get back? Eagles scoring 1 run in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. Clovis started the game leading 1-0, but hasn't scored since. 9-5 hit count in favor of the Eagles. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball cracked hard with a couple of bounces to short. Scoop by Taylor to second, to first, and we got it in time. Yes, a double play. So Taylor connecting to second to Hector Armendariz to Alvarado at first on the 6-4-3 for out 2. And shutting down Clovis quickly almost here with 1 more out to go in the 6th.
Exactly, just 4 more outs to go, but 1 at a time is what we should do. Just get this one and get the out for this inning.
Mentioned change at short in this game as well. That's underclassmen getting some stuff done there. Jaden Taylor, the 8th grader, the only 8th grader on the squad. Both teams with just 1 8th grader on the rosters. He is the 3rd that have played to that position. Coming in for Utahara in this game. And, of course, they had a different shortstop to start the season that went down with an injury. Fastball down the middle from Bird. A little low for ball with a 1-1 count now with 2 down. Eagles up 6-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Hobbs would get 1 more at bat in the 7th, of course, and Clovis would finish it out here. Hopefully, the Eagles maintaining the lead. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bird goes with the fastball low. It hits the plate, bounces up, and tracked down by Singleton. 2 balls and a strike now. Culliver at the plate. He is the second baseman. He's 0 for 1, flew to left, and then got a walk. Only 2 walks picked up by the Wildcats in this one. A 2-1 pitch coming from Bird. Fastball down the middle. Little check swing is going to go foul. Up over the left backstop out of play near the street level. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Baseball. Game 1 of the triple-header, 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. We'll be live at 4:15 at Sportsman's Park for the pregame show tomorrow. 2 games against Clovis to wrap up the series. A 2-2 pitch from Bird. Fastball, low and outside for ball 3. Another full count situation here for Culliver. Joe Albert's up next. He's their most consistent hitter with 2 for 2 at this point, although Kobe Rivera has a couple of singles just like he does. He's 2 for 3, though. Full count pitch, fastball, out to second field on the ground, or second base. Hector Armendariz in time and a throw as he connects over to Alvarado on the 4-3. So the ground out over to the Eagles' second baseman will finish it up here. 1 hit, 1 run, or 1 runner on base. No runs come across. We head to the top of the 7th. The last hurrah for the Eagles offensively, at least. Hopefully that's all they're going to need, the 5 runs to win. We'll come back in 60 seconds live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. The Hobbs Eagles just convert a single by Josiah Martinez. Having a lot of technical issues here with the wind picking up pretty bad here in Clovis. That was the first hit of the game for Martinez. Eagles now with 10 hits compared to 5 for Clovis, doubling them up and leading 6-1. Curveball inside. A little low of the strike zone for ball 1. Josiah Martinez getting on with the single here in the top of the 7th. Xavier Alvarado now at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles and 2 RBIs and a couple of runs scored as well. Definitely doing some good work with his bat in this one. Fastball low. It hits the plate, rolls behind it. Jimenez got to chase it back to the wall. And that's going to send the Eagles to second with Josiah Martinez picking it up. A steal on that one.
Yeah, wild pitch right there, and sends the batter or the runner to second with no ons, and needs some insurance, and that'll definitely help.
Eagles have only had 3 strikeouts in this ball game. 2-0 pitch now. Jamison throws a curve wick, and the wind takes it hard 3D style towards us.
Yep.
Able to be caught behind the plate by Jimenez, but I was getting ready to get out of the way here, and I'm behind the net.
Yeah, it looked like it was 3D from my angle, too.
3-0 counts. Big lead up here for Alvarado. Fastball goes low for ball 4. That's a walk. So Eagles pick up their only second walk of the ball game. We mentioned against Roswell, they had 27 walks. Unfortunately, a 1-2 record against the Coyotes, but still, they were watching pretty good pitches there to get on base. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the hits to come around on those. 27 walks compared to 13 for Roswell in that 3-game series. Cleanup man now, Makai Brewer. He's 2 for 3. Curveball inside. This is gone. You can tell this by the crack of the bat. It's going to go over the right field fence on top of a building and bouncing off. Unbelievable shot there. Didn't even have to look out there to know that was gone. A 2 RBI homer for Makai Brewer, his 3rd hit of the ball game.
And as they say in basketball, nothing but net. I mean, that was a nice, solid hit. You could hear it as it pinged off the bat, and he knew it as well. As soon as it got off his bat, he knew it was a homer, and we all knew that.
I think I said 2 runs. That's 3.
Exactly.
If you include Josiah Martinez, I forgot about him. Martinez, Alvarado, and now Brewer scores as the Hobbs Eagles extend the lead to 8, 9-1. They get close. On a pitcher after 6 innings, that's Zane Uriste. Getting his first action. The starter, Jamison, finished up giving up a bunch of hits to the Hobbs Eagles, 11 total, struck out 3 and walked 3. In fact, all 5 batters for the Eagles have been on base here in the top of the 7th. They've scored 3 runs here, 9-1 lead at this point. No out. Left. He is 7th in the order for the Eagles with an 8-run lead. Here's the one for the throw. Eurostate fastball. Gets a piece of it, but it's going to go foul left outside the third baseline on the hippity hop out there. Heading out for it was Lopez, but right in front of Coach Boyle, well out of play. Total of 5 hits so far for Clovis, 2 for Rivera, singles, 2 singles for Albert, and 1 single for Eli Rodriguez. Hobbs with 11, more than doubling what Clovis has produced at this point. Eurostate continues to look long at second. Armendaris waiting patiently now. Fastball outside, 4-2. Catcher's getting a lot more active now as Jimenez slides over and checking both runners at first and second. That's Bird at second, and actually courtesy runners out there. They brought Parrish in, too, to run at first now. The freshman out there on the first bag. Actually quickly in the leadoff position, though. Long delay for Eurostay. Continues to look back at second. A time called and getting bored as Hector Armendaris wants to warm up a little bit. Eurostay just continues to stare at second base for at least about a minute or so out there.
Right. Just too concerned about the runners and not concerned about the batter.
No pitch clock here in high school baseball, of course. Back up on the mound goes Eurostay. So does Armendaris in the box. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball at the end of the bat goes foul as it hits the plate and rolls a little bit.
Hit the bat, actually, and was able to get the foul, but either way, it would have been a strike.
2 strikes now to Armendaris. After him, Saul Armendaris, his brother, and Jaden Taylor, 8th and 9th in the order. 2 strikes here in the top of the 7th. The Eagles up 9-1. Run down the back of the mound does Eurostay and chases the runner back, and obliging him to get there first was Gonzalez at second. Eurostay continues to look second, back to home, and now the throw. Curving inside, whacked out hard to left center field. It's going back deep, putting on the brakes, getting the glove up in the air, and bounces off his webbing, missing it in the left field. Top of the 7th, still 10-1 Eagles. Bases are loaded after a walk scored a run. Walk issued to Saul Armendaris and scored Gonzalez, Nick Gonzalez. Looks like a courtesy. Our new batter in is Kenyon Johnson now up for the Eagles, getting his first chance to hit in subbing for Taylor. Curveball inside, little flinch there by Johnson, and he takes a strike on that one. So Kenyon Johnson up at the plate. Came in with a 174 batting average on 4 hits, 6 RBIs, and a double. Fastball rolls across the plate, scooped up by Jimenez, the catcher. Count goes to 2-1. So runners at first and second. Eagles up 10-1 here in the top of the 7th. No outs. Scored 4 in the 7th, 4 in the 5th for the majority of their scoring. Here comes the 2-1 from the relief pitcher Eurostay. Little changeup outside, swing and a miss for Johnson. 4 strike 2 to even up the count.
Didn't time that one right. Looked like a nice swing, just could not connect with the ball. Would have definitely scored at least 1 if he would have gotten it into the outfield without it being caught.
Bases loaded for the Eagles with no outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball comes inside, and that'll be ball 3 and a full count now to Johnson. I'm sure he would love to step in, subbing for Taylor, 9th in the order here. Pick up his 7th RBI of the season if he could get one or more. Fastball comes middle of the bat, out towards right center. RBI double.
Go.
We're back live here in Clovis. The bats continue to hit hard for the Eagles as Makai Brewer just hit a RBI double. Eagles have racked up 10 runs in this 7th inning. They can't even get that first digit in front of the 10 here. It's now 16-1. Eagles up by 15. And now we got a timeout as Coach Cruz is going to go out and talk to his pitcher, his relief pitcher, Eurostay. Boy, everybody getting involved with the offense. Started off with a single from Martinez, a walk from Alvarado, 2 RBI homer from Brewer. Bird was hit by a pitch. Singleton walked. Hector Armendariz got on with an error. Saul Armendariz a walk with an RBI with bases loaded. Johnson came in, subbing for Taylor, got a 2 RBI double. Gerardo Gonzalez, a sac RBI, walk by Josiah Martinez, a 2 RBI triple, and an RBI double. So every single person, except for the sac Ribby, that just won, everybody else has got on base, and the Hobbs Eagles, 14 hits, 16 points on the runs on the scoreboard, and 10 runs alone in the 7th inning.
Bernie Lopez, number 13, is going to be out there, a junior, going to be taking the pitching mound. Third one for the Clovis Wildcats in this game, trying to get just out of this game, at least out of this inning, and see what they do at the bottom of the 7th.
And just one out here in the bottom or top of the 7th. 10 runs for the Eagles, as we mentioned, 15-run lead. And again, mercy roll is usually 10 runs, but since this is the 7th inning, Clovis will get a chance at the plate to finish up this ball game. Of course, the Eagles trying to get their 2nd win in district. They went 1-2 against Roswell. This would even them up at 500 with the win here tonight. And then, of course, 2 games tomorrow in Sportsman's Park.
Got a quick update for you from for Artesia and Levington. Tight game, but Artesia wins it by 1, 4-3 over Levington.
Baseball action going on in Artesia tonight. Of course, that game is also going on HobbsAmerica.com and has concluded, so they will have that available for rewatch if you like. We'll be on tomorrow at 4:15 for the first game of the doubleheader at Sportsman's Park, and hopefully we'll keep the internet working a little bit better than what happened here today with the wind gusts that we've been having and some issues with the signals that we've had here at the park. So we do mention Bernie Lopez, who did play third base for much of this game, is stepping in. This is two pitching changes here in the 7th inning. The starter, Jamison, went through 6 innings and did stand for a little bit in the 7th, but since then we've had the 2 relievers.
And he just went .1 was the last pitcher. Still 2 outs to go before the end of this inning.
So a lot of people stepping up for the Eagles. Multi-hits in this game. 4 total for Makai Brewer. 3 doubles and a home run. And he's racked up a ton of more RBIs to add to his totals. He's got 4 just in this game alone, and that'll make it 41 for the season. 3 hits for Xavier Alvarado, a couple of doubles and a triple. And he's got himself 4 RBIs so far in this game. So those are the leaders in terms of hitters. Gonzalez has 2 singles. Of course, Major Burr with a home run and a single. He's got the only home run in the game. Fastball coming down the middle. Eagles back at the plate. Swing and a miss for Major Burr, speak of the devil. Had the homer with an RBI and a run for himself, an RBI single as well. Hit by a pitch, so he's been on base 3 or 4 times. Fastball high, swing and miss again. Bird now with an 0-2 count. Just 1 out for the Eagles. They got the runner at second. That's Brewer after a RBI double. Give the team a 16-1 lead. Lopez taking a little bit more time here. The windup and the throw. Fastball goes down low, and Major Bird comes over the top of it for strike 3 as he misses. That's only the 4th strikeout of the game for the Eagles.
That's only his 11th strikeout for the season.
2 down now for the Eagles. Big cushion, though, of 15 runs here in the top of the 7th. Clovis will get a chance to bat. Kenyon Singleton now on, stepping next to the plate. He is 1 of 3 with a double. Ground out, strikeout, but did walk as well with the run. So he's been on base 2 of 4 times. Fastball, a little late on the swing there as it hits right in the middle of the backstop behind home plate for the foul.
It was definitely not catchable, just went right to the net, and that was that.
14 hits for the Eagles, 5 for Clovis. The only run scored, 1 in the first inning for Clovis. Little curveball down the middle for the strike as Kenyon Singleton held on to it. He is 6th in the order. Both Armendariz brothers and Johnson will be rounding out the order for the Eagles so they can get that far down the list. This is the 5th time through the order for the Eagles. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball. This is cranked out towards center, kind of shallow, and coming up for the catch with one hand is Albert for out number 3. But the Hobbs Eagles there for an eternity at the plate. as they got a total of 4 hits, 10 runs come across, and they get a 16-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The last chance for Clovis. They got to get at least 15 to keep this game extended. We're coming back live on the Hobbs Eagle Network in 60. Clovis Wildcats will be up for the last time in this game. Eagles up 16-1 here at the bottom of the 7th. Game 1 of the tripleheader. 2 games tomorrow in Hobbs. 4:15 pregame show here at HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty Friend and Ron Gunner as we had a pretty calm wind to start the game, but as it's gone along, Ron is getting more gusty as we speak. Dirt's blowing all over the place. We've been going off the air 20 times in this game, and it'd be nice to get back home, I think.
Oh, absolutely is. Even if we have to blow back home, we're definitely going to do that. Real quick update on Carlsbad and Roswell. That one is a final. Roswell was able to manage to score 1 in the 7th, but they lost 9-1 to Carlsbad.
Cavemen are now 4-0 on the season and 2-2 for the Coyotes. Clovis now at the plate. Probably their last time at the plate in this game. They're at 6th in the order. Joe Albert, who's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, takes the first fastball for the strike. Of course, on the mound throughout the whole game so far, Major Bird trying to pick up a win here. Fastball low, swing and a miss for Albert. Now with an 0-2 count. Bird could be 500 after this game. He's got a 2-3 record at this point, his 10th game of the season. Would go to 3-3 with the win here, which looks like a pretty good situation for that.
Absolutely.
Here comes the 0-2. Fastball, curveball, or fastball at the middle of the bat, out to left. It takes a roll, scooped up by Martinez. And another single for Albert, so he's the bright spot for Clovis at this point with 3 hits. And 3 out of the 6 so far for the Wildcats.
It definitely gets a chance to get somebody on base to score early in this bottom of the 7th.
So he's got half of the hits for the Wildcats offense. 7th in the order now, Bernie Lopez. He's the second relief pitcher for the Wildcats, still on the mound. He won't probably play more in this game, though. Curveball to him, inside for Bird for ball 1. He grounded third and walked earlier. He was the third baseman prior to being on the mound. Still 16-1 Eagles. No outs here in the top of the 7th after a single from Albert. Bird reloads on the top of the rubber. Curving inside, whacked down to third. And the throw to second to get the tag out. And a throw to first, too. Is he there in time? I think they're going to call him safe.
I believe he is safe. Just wasn't quite there, but it looked really good. Was close, but the runner had already passed first when that throw got there.
Trying to double check that they had made a switch there. I think that was Gonzalez, I believe, at third. Yes, he's still out there as he was able to make the throw over to second to Hector Armendariz for the out off the ground out from Bernie Lopez. So 1 down for the Wildcats. 8th in the order, Gabe Tapia. 0 for 2 on 2 strikeouts. Curveball inside to him. Actually, it looks like they have a subs checking in for the Wildcats. They've had some changes, especially with the couple of pitchers that they brought in. Let me double check to see who we've got on the plate. That is Nathan McIntosh seeing his first few pitches of the game.
Yeah, he's a tall kid, too.
So McIntosh in for Gabe Tapia. Takes first pitches inside for ball 2. 2-0 count now. Runner at first. 2-0 count. Here comes Bird. Fastball outside for ball 3. So McIntosh reading some good pitches at this point. 8th in the order. Josiah Mendoza rounding it out at number 9, the DH. 16-1 Eagles. 10 runs in the 7th, the top of the 7th to get the big lead. Fastball down the middle. Clips the top of the strike zone for strike 1. 3-1 count.
That's the way usually Bird does it. Gets it down the middle and see if he's going to be chasing or if he's going to go for another strike on this one.
Big lead off at first for Albert. Curves it inside, and that'll be ball 4. So McIntosh, the sub, checking in and gets the walk. So 2 base runners now for Clovis. I think this is the most offense we've seen since the first inning where they were up 1-0.
Definitely, definitely.
Of course, the Eagles got tied up in the second, 1-1. Got another run in the fourth, making it 2-1, and then 4 runs in the fifth for their big breakout 10 runs in the top of the seventh. So Mendoza comes in 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Bird going to fire a fastball, and a little late swing there for Mendoza for the strike. Some hard English on that throw.
No, definitely. The wind is blowing from left to right now on the field.
Fastball again, hits the outside corner for the strike 2, and holding on at that time, Mendoza shaking his head after. He'd like to have the pitch back. Coach Cruz kind of shaking his head there at the third base coaching box with his team trailing by 15. Couple of touchdown deficit. Bird didn't quite get the call. He shook his head and said, "What did you call there?" And gets a new one from Singleton behind the plate.
Pointed at his ear, just like, huh?
0-2 pitch. Fastball high. Ooh, check swing. Did he go around? No, he didn't. But, boy, almost biting on that was Mendoza for strike 3. He came halfway around, and get some words from Coach Boyle in the dugout. Didn't like that one. Well, he could look like he was protecting his chest with the bat that time. It looked like it came all the way.
All right, but either way, he's still alive at the bat with 1 out, 2 on.
Force out at third. 1-2 pitch from Bird. Fastball, swing and a miss. That will strike him out for sure as he hammers the bat down to the dirt after missing everything. So Matt Mendoza with 2 Ks in the game. That'll be a total of 7 overall for the pitching of Major Bird. And now the top of the order for the 4th time, Eli Rodriguez. Correction, they got a new sub in there. Let me get that checked out for you. And that's going to be Jerome Williams getting his first shot. 2 down, though, and a fastball. Smacks hard against the glove for the strike. So Rodriguez is being subbed by Williams. Williams is a junior. Here's the windup of the throw. Fastball high for ball 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. Still a 16-1 lead for your Eagles. Bottom of the 7th. This should be it for the Wildcats. Means they will be dropping to 9-12. Eagles will improve to 8-13. Bird, fastball high, and a very limp swing that time for Williams. And that was just kind of, maybe I'll move the bat a little bit here. Wasn't quite sure about that one, and now has a 1-2 count to deal with. Could be the final pitch of the ball game for Major Bird to get his record to 3-3 on the season. Runners get outside their bases now. They know there's 2 outs for the Wildcats. Here's the pitch from Bird. Fastball outside, barely misses. Outside for ball 2. J.V. Jimenez wants to get out on the plate, but he's 0 for 3 so far for the Wildcats. For 2 outs here.
Yep, a lot of 2s. 2 on, 2 out.
Fastball and slapped off the handle to the Hobbs Eagle dugout.
And I just realized number 2 is at bat right now.
So the Eagles anxious to get the first win of this triple header and get a couple more at home tomorrow. They'll even their record in district with the win tonight, 2-2. That's the same as Roswell, who lost to Carlsbad, as you mentioned earlier. The 2-2 pitch, change up inside for ball 3. Full count now to Williams. And then next week, of course, the Eagles will have Carlsbad to finish up the district. They'll play 1 at home next Thursday, a week from tonight, and then 2 on the road in Carlsbad on Friday. And then we'll have to wait and see how things wash out there in terms of the playoffs. 3-2, a high one over the top of the helmet of Williams. It'll be another walk.
Definitely.
So 2 walks have been issued here in the 7th inning. That's 4 total for the Wildcats. But they have a big deficit to try to come back, trailing 16-1. Runners on all 3 bases loaded. It hasn't happened once in this game except now. And J.V. Jimenez is the guy they have coming in, the shortstop. He's 0 for 3, ground to pitcher to Bird, ground out to short. And also had a fly to right. So a couple guys have had some options against him. Taylor, Bird takes a curveball inside, a dribbler to short. The pick of the throw is going to be behind first base. I think they're going to pull the runner or the baseman off on that one. A run is going to score. RBI single picked up by J.V. Jimenez. So a run comes across to make it 16-2. And that is Joe Albert that finally comes over for Clovis to get them their second run of the game. They had one in the first and now one in the seventh. But there's still 2 outs, and the bases loaded, so they're trying to inch their way back into this one, trying to make it look a little bit more respectful.
I'm not going to make it obvious, the fact that the shortstop could have just tagged second, and that would have been the game right there. But threw to first instead, tried to get the out, and did not work.
Fastball coming to Kobe Rivera. He's 2 for 3, has an RBI single, a stolen base, another single, and struck out. Just want to try to get this kind of out of the infield here to get another runner to come around. Here comes the 0-1 from Bird. Fastball, and comes out the end of the bat behind home plate. Chasing it back to the netting is Singleton, but it bounces right to the Hobbs Eagle fan base here on the left side.
Right behind him, exactly.
Staying alive at the plate is Rivera with an 0-2 count now with 2 down. Any bases a stop and a final out for the Eagles defense, who leads by 14. 14-7 hit count as well. Eagles doubling them up. Little change up down the middle and getting a piece of it. Staying alive with the foul. Drops right behind home plate for Kobe Rivera. He stays at the plate.
Got very lucky. That would have been the final out of the third strike.
Heavy gusts of wind are starting to blow in again here in Clovis. Wind up with a throw from Bird. Fastball outside for ball 1. 1-2 count. Of course, Rivera's a lefty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bell Park Field here in Clovis. No close to the winds we've been having throughout the rest of this game, but the early part, it was nice and smooth. Eagles, though, taking advantage of that with 10 runs scored in the 7th inning. Curveball inside is fouled out to the middle of the backstop. Rivera's not going to give up yet, Ron, even though they're down by 14.
That's one of the things you like about the Clovis Wildcats. They do not give up. There is no quit in them. They're going to bat every single time and try to make it back into it, even if it's a deficit beyond deficits. They're still going to give it a try.
Of course, Eagles whipped them last year in 3 games. So they were trying to get back in the series this year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball low and inside for ball 2. His stop sign put up by Rivera, making sure his runner didn't try to come down that third base path. They wanted to have a chance to get some runners to come home and not get picked off there with the last out, as he put the stop sign up to Nathan McIntosh, who just checked in a few minutes ago at the plate. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Fastball down the middle, low for ball 3. So a full count been worked up now by Rivera. Now, if he gets a walk, that would score a run. Then Josias Jimenez would come up.
Right.
And Jimenez is the cleanup man, although he's 0 for 3 tonight. The 3-2 pitch from Bird. Fastball. Oh, it hits the right shoulder of Rivera. Hit by pitch. First time in for Clovis. There was one earlier. The Hobbs Eagles suffered one, a major Bird. And that will score a run. That's an RBI, actually, for Rivera.
Right.
And that will bring in, that was Gabe or McIntosh, who just scored. He was the sub for Gabe Tapia earlier. So it's now 16-3, a 13-run lead. Bases are loaded again.
And Bird is on 98 pitches so far.
They're going to go to Josias Jimenez now. 0 for 3. Curveball inside. Going to go right to third. And a stop for the out. Out number 3 thanks to Gonzalez. So the ground out for Jimenez will finish this one off finally here in Clovis. 16-3. Your Hobbs Eagles winning by double digits. They up their record to 2-2 in district as the Clovis Wildcats drop to 0-4. We'll take a 2-minute break and get the post-game show live on Cool 95.7's Facebook page, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Don't leave us now. Back live here in Bell Park in Clovis. The Hobbs Eagles victorious 16-3 over the Clovis Wildcats, out hitting the Wildcats 14-7 in this game. Clovis had 2 errors and the Hobbs Eagles had 1. And so the win for Major Bird improves him to 3-3 on the season. Let's look at the numbers in this game. First of all, for Clovis, they got a couple of multiple hitters, and that's Joe Albert. He was the leader with 3 for 3, 3 singles in the game and a run scored, so definitely stroking the bat for the Wildcats. They had Kobe Rivera at 2 for 4, had a couple of singles, came off also a steal, and got an RBI off a hit by a pitch in his last at bat in the bottom of the 7th. Also, J.V. Jimenez went 1 for 4 with an RBI single in the 7th inning. 1 for 3 for Eli Rodriguez, who had a single to start the game, a run scored. And then also Williams came in for him and got a walk in the game. And so basically they had a total of 4 hitters in the contest, 2 of those multiple hitters for the Wildcats. They finished with 7 hits, 7 Ks, and 4 walks in the loss. And they had 3 pitchers, Jamison, Uristay, and Lopez. Uristay and Lopez played the 7th inning. Jamison went through 6 innings of work. For your Hobbs Eagles, multiple hitters all over the place in this one, and it's kind of hard to decide who had the most potent bat in this contest. So many people are stepping up big for the Eagles, including Mackay Brewer, who went 4 for 5. Of course, he had another homer this season. He leads the team with 9 now. A 2 RBI homer for him and a run scored, of course. He had a total of 3 doubles in the game and racked up 3 RBIs because of that. A single RBI on all 3 of those, and also had a stolen base in the contest. So Mackay Brewer, 4 for 5 in the ball game. Xavier Alvarado went 3 for 4. He had 2 doubles, one of those 2 RBI doubles. He had a 2 RBI triple and scored a total of 3 runs in the contest. Also picked up a walk. So he was on base 4 out of 5 times, and he went 3 for 4 at the plate. So big game for him. Mackay Brewer and Xavier Alvarado combined 7 of 9 in this contest in terms of the bats. Major Bird only had 1 or 2 hits. Not when I said only had, but excuse me, wind's getting through my throat here. He had a homer to start his at-bats in the 2nd inning. Scored a run because he was the only man on at that point, and also had an RBI single. Bird also was hit by a pitch, so he got on the bases 4 out of the 5 times in this game.
Yeah, and it was all about the fact that the run production was helping out a lot. The wind probably did a little bit of a good thing, too, for the Hobbs Eagles, getting them into the groove. And, of course, Major Bird through 6 innings definitely pitched a great game. Had a little struggles in the 7th, but it was not enough for them to make the loss, so that helped them out.
So Bird getting 2 for 4 hitting in the contest. That kind of gives you actually one other guy with the multiple hits. That was Gerardo Gonzalez. He went 2 for 5, pair of singles. I also had an RBI sack out there as well and scored a couple of runs. A few guys also got a single piece or hit a piece. Josiah Martinez, he finished 1 of 3, a single, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and also got a walk and scored a run after that as well. So 3 runs total for Josiah Martinez. Kenyon Singleton went 1 for 4 with a double and a walk. And last but not least was a 2 RBI double for Kenyon Johnson. He was 1 for 1 at the plate. And that pretty much wraps up your hitters for the Hobbs Eagles. They had 7 guys get hits in this game. Definitely a good number for them. 16 hits total, only 4 strikeouts in the contest, and walked 5 times. So, again, we've talked about this team doing a pretty decent job of picking up the walks throughout the season, especially against Roswell with the 27. But tonight, it was the bats working the magic. 10 runs coming through in the 7th inning, but 16 hits, one of their best games of the season.
It was, and Hobbs needs to make sure that to remember that these runs don't carry over to the next games, which are tomorrow at Hobbs. And they got 2 against Clovis. They are 4-7 right now. They need to get 2 wins in Hobbs to be able to get a 6-7 win. All they need to do is get 1 more from Carlsbad, which will not be easy at all to get a 500 record at home. However, this win victory, they definitely are enjoying it. They did everything right, and Coach Boyle is definitely going to be happy about that. But, yes, definitely got to get regrouped tomorrow, play a doubleheader against this Clovis team, who, again, was very hungry from the start, trying to get some runs in as quickly as possible. Didn't work out as well as they hoped it would. But I'm sure they're going to come out and try again swinging tomorrow as we try again to get the doubleheader.
Clovis drops to 9-12 overall, 0-4 in district, and the Eagles improve to 8-13 and 2-2 in district. Again, the final score 16-3. The Eagles with the win. Tomorrow night, 4:15 pregame show for the doubleheader, 4:30 on the first pitch. Live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. For Max back to the station, Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, we're taking off from a windy Clovis back to Hobbs. Have a great rest of a Thursday night out there.